Listeners Paradise presents The Lake Isle of Innisfree by W.B. Yeats. In today's session, we'll be talking about the poem, the explanation of the poem, the important words, the figures of speech, the rhyme scheme, and so on. So, let's get started. First, the poem will be read out to you.
I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin build there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will rise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. These are important words in the poem. Also note down the words on the slide. Now, I'll explain the poem to you. In the first stanza of The Lake Isle of Innisfree, W.B. Yeats begins with a deeply personal declaration. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree. This opening sets the tone for the entire poem, revealing the speaker's intense yearning for a simpler, self-sufficient life away from modern distractions. Innisfree is not merely a geographical location, it becomes a symbol of serenity, contentment, and a harmonious relationship with nature. The speaker imagines constructing a modest small cabin made from clay and wattles, a reference to a traditional, sustainable style of building. This imagery evokes a lifestyle rooted in the fundamentals of existence, one where materialism and urban demands are replaced by the close proximity to nature. In his vision, the speaker envisions cultivating 9 bean rows and keeping a hive for the honey bee. These activities symbolize self-reliance and a close-knit connection to the earth's cycles. A critical part of this stanza is the sensory imagery. The image "bee loud glade" highlights how even nature's soft sounds like the buzzing of bees contribute to the tranquility of the imagined place. It stands in stark contrast to the noise and chaos of the speaker's present environment. Yeats, with this idealized view of Innisfree, encapsulates a vision that reflects romantic ideals, where nature is portrayed as a source of peace, personal fulfillment, and restoration. In the second stanza, the poet elaborates on the profound peace found in the idyllic life envisioned at Innisfree. The lines present an unbroken rhythm, that mirrors the flow of natural time and emphasizes the soothing effect of such a life. Peace comes dropping slow, the speaker claims, capturing how serenity arises incrementally in nature rather than in a sudden or fleeting bursts. The stanza paints a day on the isle through vivid sensory experiences. Midnights all a glimmer suggests a world illuminated by starlight, and noon a purple glow captures the enchanting light unique to midday. These images are more than descriptions. They elevate natural phenomena into spiritual moments, showing how nature's subtle changes can provide a meditative quality absent in urban life. The focus on birds, particularly the linnet, furthers this sense of harmony. Bird songs echo peace, reinforcing the theme of gentle coexistence with nature. The wings of these linnets add an element of freedom, offering hope and liberation from the entrapment of the industrialized living. The stanza encapsulates not just external peace but internal tranquility, tying nature's rhythms to the spiritual nourishment the speaker craves. Yeats thus shows us the restorative potential of reconnecting with the elements. In the third stanza, the speaker's longing for Innisfree takes a more introspective turn. The lines reveal the persistent and profound emotional connection the speaker has with the island. This is not a fleeting desire, but a deeply ingrained yearning, almost a spiritual calling. I hear it in the deep heart's core, the speaker declares, showing that the sound of Innisfree's waters resonates with their innermost self. The imagery of lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore signifies both external and internal harmony. The gentle sound of the water becomes a metaphor for peace and stability, an emotional sanctuary the speaker carries within. Even though this stands on the roadway or in the pavement's grey of urban life, the memory of Innisfree remains vivid. This duality between physically distant yet emotionally connected intensifies the poignancy of the speaker's longing. The juxtaposition between the natural world of Innisfree and the gay pavements of the city underscores the stark difference between nature's vitality and urban life's monotony. The pavement's grey symbolizes the lifeless, industrialized environment in which the speaker is trapped. The greyness contrasts sharply with the vibrant and peaceful imagery of Innisfree described in the earlier stanzas. This stanza concludes the poem by anchoring the speaker's desire for Innisfree in the realm of spiritual and emotional context. Innisfree is no longer just a place but an internal refuge. The speaker's yearning transcends physical boundaries, making the isle a metaphorical home for the soul. The lake, the sound, and the peace represent what modern life has stripped away, a deep connection to nature and the self. Now, let's go ahead and discuss themes in this poem. The first theme is escape and solitude. In the lake isle of Innisfree, Yeats explores the desire to escape the hectic, noisy world and find peace in solitude. The poet imagines retreating from urban life, symbolized by the pavement's grey, into a serene and natural world represented by Innisfree. This theme resonates deeply with anyone yearning for a break from the demands of modern existence. The Lake Isle is more than just a physical location. It becomes a sanctuary of peace where one can experience quietude and introspection away from the societal noise. Each creates a vision of living a simple, self sufficient life on the island, constructing a cabin and tending to a small farm, reflecting his ideal of isolation as restorative and nurturing. The imagery emphasizes the contrast between urban dissonance and the harmony of nature, reinforcing the idea that solitude is essential for reconnecting with one's inner self. The theme of escape and solitude not only captures Yeats's personal longing but also resonates universally with the readers who have felt overwhelmed by the chaos of life in a city. Through Innisfree, Yeats presents an intimate portrait of a place where the soul can breathe untouched by the pressures of the world. Nature as a refuge. Nature serves as a sanctuary in the Lake Isle of Innisfree, providing solace, peace, and inspiration for the poet. Yeats's portrayal of the island as an idyllic heaven where natural elements like the sound of the bees, the lapping of the lake's water, and the gentle morning mist creates a sense of perfect tranquility. These images establish nature as a powerful refuge from the chaos and monotony of city life. The poet's vision of life and Innisfree, cultivating beans, hearing the hum of the bees, and experiencing the rhythms of the natural world evoke a deeper connection with earth. Nature is presented not merely as a physical space but as a source of emotional and spiritual healing. The contrast between the natural beauty of Innisfree and the dull, lifeless urban pavements grey reflects the poet's belief that nature can offer escape and restoration. Yeats's use of soft sensory language to describe the isle emphasizes the calming, almost hypnotic effect of nature. This theme underscores the idea that reconnecting with nature allows individuals to claim a sense of balance and inner harmony, serving as an eternal source of refuge for both body and soul. Simplicity and self-sufficiency. A key theme in Yeats's The Lake Isle of Innisfree is the pursuit of simplicity and self-sufficiency. The poet envisions a lifestyle focused on basic meaningful activities like building a cabin, planting beans, tending to bees. These actions symbolize a departure from materialism and complexities of urban life in favor of a more elemental way of living. The poet's detailed description of this simple life is aspirational, suggesting that peace and fulfillment can be achieved through modest means and self-reliance. The repetitive rhythms of nature, like the hum of the bees or the cycle of night and day, highlight the inherent harmony in this lifestyle. Yeats contrasts this simplicity with the pavement's grey of urban space, where life feels disconnected from nature and seems overly dependent on artificial constructs. This theme suggests that true happiness lies in paring down life's essentials, aligning with natural rhythms rather than societal pressures. The imagined life on Innisfree becomes a metaphor for spiritual nourishment, illustrating how act of simplifying one's existence can lead to profound contentment. The spiritual connection with nature. In the poem, nature is not just a physical presence, but a spiritual force that permeates the poet's inner self. Yeats' description of natural elements on Innisfree, the midnight all a glimmer, and the purple glow of noon, reveal his reverence for mystical beauty of the natural world. These moments transcend mere observation. They evoke a profound emotional and spiritual connection, as if nature communicates directly with the poet's soul. The rhythmic and hypnotic sounds of the lake water lapping at the shore underscores this spiritual bond, representing eternal peace and continuity in nature. This connection to the earth contrasts sharply with the alienation Yeats feels in the city, surrounded by lifeless pavements grey, which the poem suggests that the act of immersing oneself to immerse in nature, fosters a sense of unity with something larger than oneself, whether that is earth, the cosmos, or a divine presence. By framing nature as an omnipresent, spiritually fulfilling entity, Yeats elevates Innisfree to the level of an ethereal realm, demonstrating how the natural world can provide profound comfort and enlightenment. Nostalgia and idealism. Yeats's longing for the lake isle of Innisfree is steeped in nostalgia and idealism. He paints an idyllic picture of the island, emphasizing its serene beauty and tranquil rhythm of life, which contrasts sharply with his current urban surroundings. The imagery of bees humming, early morning mist, the glimmering midnight creates an idealized vision of the natural world, free from the imperfections of reality. This nostalgic tone suggests not only a yearning for a simpler life, but also a romanticized view of the past or an unreachable utopia. Yeats's description of the island reflects the universal human tendency to idealize places and moments associated with peace and happiness. The lake isle may represent not just a physical place, but also the poet's emotional and spiritual desires, a mental refuge constructed out of memory and imagination. This theme captures the bittersweet nature of nostalgia, where the act of remembering offers comfort, but also underscores the impossibility of fully recapturing what has been lost or just imagined. Ultimately, Yeats's vision of Innisfree becomes a symbol of hope, an embodiment of the ideal world he strives for, even if it remains distant or unattainable. The next few slides discuss the figures of speech in this beautiful poem. Please pause the video and note these down. If you have any doubts, please write in the comment section for explanation. Finally, we will discuss the rhyme scheme of the poem. The poem employs a loose A-B-A-B rhyme scheme throughout its 3 quatrains. This structure lends a musicality to the poem while keeping its rhythm natural and meditative, mirroring the flow of thought and tranquility of the imagined setting. Thank you for listening. Do subscribe to the channel if you derive some value from the content.